I dropped to my knees. I backed up, right? I backed up. I'm not wearing any pants. But I backed up into like the color room that was right there. And I was like, hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you have never seen me before in your life, my name is Brittney Gray. I'm owner and stylist at Beach Vibes Beauty Studio. I know you guys love my little story time videos, so we're gonna do one today. You guys are used to me talking about other people, but I'm gonna talk about myself because I have some embarrassing salon stories, okay? There are just like day-to-day things that happen that are like kind of like weird, awkward, whatever, and I have 3 stories for you guys. I had another one that was super embarrassing, but I think I mentally blocked it out because I cannot remember it. I wanted to film this video for a week, but I was like, let me just remember that 4th story, but I can't. So I think that I was so traumatized from it that I just mentally blocked it out, like, it didn't happen. If you're not subscribed to my channel, then please take a moment to subscribe. I upload new videos every single week. You won't regret it, okay? I guess I'll go with least embarrassing to most embarrassing. So, right back in the day when I first ever got licensed, I started as an assistant at a salon, right? And so for extra money, for extra income, I also did brows and makeup at the salon, okay? So, you know, I was just utilizing my skills to make that extra money. But I also worked as the receptionist of the salon, so I would answer calls, I would make appointments and that kind of thing. And you know how it is when you first start working as a receptionist or working in a salon, you have to learn those people skills, right? And you need to learn to think fast and think, you know, on your feet. And I wasn't there yet. So this one time, this lady called the salon and she wanted to book an appointment for makeup. And again, I was the one who did makeup there. So I'm on the phone with her, like, thank you for calling, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what I used to say, but do you want to book an appointment? You know, something to that effect. The lady was like, oh, so I want to make an appointment to come in for makeup, but I have a couple of questions. So sometimes clients will have questions about, I don't know, different like techniques, or, you know, do you do this or do you do contouring? You know, if you're a makeup artist, you know the questions that you get. And so the lady's like, well, I have a couple of questions. So does the makeup artist do lashes? And then I was a makeup artist, but then I was like acting as the receptionist at the time, or that was the role I was taking. So I was like, yes, she does. And then she was like, do you know if she uses strip lashes or individual lashes? Yeah, she does. Or at first she asked me, she was like, oh, who will my appointment be with? And I said, Brittney. So then she starts going into all these questions about what kind of lashes do you use, what kind of this do you use, and that kind of, or what kind of stuff does she use, what kind of lashes does she use, strip lashes? And I was like, yeah, she does. Yes, she uses this kind of makeup, and yes, I'll tell her, you know, that kind of thing. Like, oh, well, can you tell her that I have this kind? And I was like, yes, I'll tell her, and whatever. She's like, okay, thank you, you've been so helpful, what's your name? And oh my gosh, I like froze. I'm not good at lying. Let me tell you guys that I am a horrible liar. So I try to be in situations where I don't have to lie, because I'm a horrible liar. Like, I cannot do it. So I could have said the salon manager's name, or I could have said anything else, but then I also didn't want to say the salon manager's name. Let's just call her Maria. Like, I didn't want to say, oh, Maria, and then something comes, like she comes in the next week and she's like, oh, Maria, I talked to you on the phone. You know what I mean? So just during that moment, during that, you know, couple, like 1 second, I had all these thoughts in my head, like, oh my gosh, I can't lie. So I was like, actually, this is Brittney. And she was like, oh, okay, well, thank you. And then, so we got off the phone, and she was a new client. She had never been there before. And then I found out, I told my manager about it because I was like so freaking embarrassed. I had to vent. But, it turns out she actually ended up canceling her appointment. So I don't know if she canceled her appointment because she was like, this place is a hot mess, she's so unprofessional, or whatever. Or that was just kind of weird. That was humiliating for me. Thank God it was over the phone, because I don't know what I would do if it was in person. Second embarrassing freaking story. Ugh. God, I was still an assistant, but like I said, I was doing brows and I was doing makeup at the salon that I worked at. You know, when you're in the beginning of your career, like you're hungry, you're just like, you want every appointment that you can get. I had to come in early the next morning because there was a regular client. I'm gonna call her Jessica Simpson, okay? I'm just gonna throw a name out there. So Jessica Simpson, she booked an early eyebrow appointment at 9 a.m. that day or whatever. So the next day I come in super early, and usually when you work in a salon, you come in, you check your schedule. Okay, I have to do all these people, cool, whatever. So I was under the impression that, and this lady, Jessica Simpson, she was also getting like her hair cut. She was doing the whole 9 yards, all right, as they say, and also brows. So I come in to work, and the way you enter the salon through work, okay, so here's like where all the clients are through like the salon chairs and everything, and then here's the reception desk, and then back here is like an entry door from the parking lot. So this, like, the street is up here, salon chairs, reception area, and this is where you enter the salon through the back because the parking lot is back here. So yeah, got to work, parked my little car, walked in, you know, getting ready to do Jessica Simpson's eyebrows. Walk in, and then I walk, again, I'm walking through the back, okay? And I walk up to the reception desk. And also there was like kind of walls and shelves right here, so you couldn't see inside you couldn't really get a good view of like the salon chairs and everything. So it was like blocked, okay? So I walk up to the reception desk, but it's like a very small space. Okay, so I walk up to the reception desk and I start looking at the schedule, and I was like, oh, isn't Jessica Simpson getting her brows done with me right now? And then my manager was like, no, she canceled. And I was like, that bitch, jokingly, okay? Oh my gosh. And my manager was like, she was like, she's right there. So I looked at my schedule. I said, that bitch, when she asked me, is Jessica Simpson getting her eyebrows done? And she said, no, she canceled. And Jessica Simpson was sitting in a fucking chair right here. Okay, again, she was like around the corner right there, but then her husband was sitting like waiting for her right there. And it was like in the movies, like, you know, in the movies when there's like a dramatic thing and they're like this against the wall and they're just like, no, why did I say that? Like, I dropped to my knees, okay? I dropped to my knees. I backed up, right? I'm not wearing any pants. But I backed up into like the color room that was right there, and I was like, it was so dramatic and traumatizing, and I was like, oh my fucking gosh. Allegedly, I don't know if my manager was just saying this to make me like feel better, but she was like, I don't think she heard you, but like you shouldn't say stuff like that anyway. And I was like, yeah, like I know. But it was all in a joke, and like my soul died inside. And again, this was a regular client too, okay? She got her whole family got their hair or makeup or eyebrows or whatever done at that salon like on a regular basis, okay? So I would see one of the members of the family at least every 2 weeks, you know? So for the first couple like weeks or months, I kind of like avoided her because I was always scared that she heard me, and I don't know, I just like kind of avoided her for like a couple months, and then I was just like, whatever, I don't think she heard me, but I hope not, or maybe she did hear me, because I mean, there's no way, at least her husband must have heard me, but God. So just as a warning to you ladies out there, be careful, even if you say it in a joking manner. Like, I really wasn't mad like that she canceled her appointment, but you know what I'm saying, like, you know, if your friend like says like a comment or something like that, and you're like, oh, shut up bitch, or whatever, you don't mean it like bitch, you mean it like ha 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 bitch, like that kind of thing. So, but don't play around like that, because you never know. I mean, I guess it's all learning experience, but yeah, now I'm like, gosh, I don't know what I could have done to avoid it except for not say it. So my last embarrassing salon story. I noticed a theme that all of my embarrassing stories are all like at the beginning of my career, because again, you don't think as quickly at the beginning, Also, you haven't worked with that many people. You haven't worked on that many clients to know how to handle every kind of situation. So being a stylist does take extreme, you know, people skills, all right, and social skills. I'm still developing in that area of my life. This was when I first started as a stylist, like a full-time stylist. I was out on the floor by myself taking clients, but it was still in the beginning, right? Oh, girl, this client books with me. It's a new client, never seen her before in my life. So she comes in and it's a lady, I want to say it was like a Latin lady. She had like really good skin and everything like that, but she had gray hair, like naturally gray hair. She just never colored her hair or anything like that. She just let it grow out and to her, like salt and pepper hair. I want to say she looked like she was about in her 50s. She looked like she was about mid 50s. And so whatever. So she comes in, she books a haircut with me. So I'm cutting her hair, doing her hair right, minding my own business, cutting her hair and making small talk and things like that. And she told me that she was coming in because it was her birthday or whatever. And I was like, oh, like happy birthday. And like in the middle of her appointment while I'm cutting her hair, some guy comes in and sits in the reception area and like waves to her, like acknowledges her, whatever, like lets her know like, oh, hi, or I'm here, whatever. And this guy, okay, he had like black hair that was like short and like a short men's haircut, whatever. And he had on sunglasses, okay? He came in, sat down, acknowledged each other, cutting her hair. And I was like, oh, is that your son? And she was like, no. And I was like, your boyfriend? And she was like, yes. And I was like, oh, I couldn't really see because he had sunglasses on. I was like, what are you guys doing this weekend? Like, I changed the subject so freaking fast because I was dying inside. Like, I thought that her boyfriend was her son. Yeah, he was wearing sunglasses, but he had like full black hair. And he just looked, honestly, he looked to be about 20 years younger than her, okay? So I was like, maybe she was a young mom. I don't know. But I changed the subject so freaking fast. And after she left, like, and my coworkers around me, they heard that whole kerfuffle and everything. They were like, oh my fucking gosh. And I was like, I am going to go jump off of a cliff. I was so freaking embarrassed because, again, she had salt and pepper hair. I thought she was like maybe in her mid 50s or something like that. Here's what I learned from that situation. Don't ever assume that like your salon or your client's guest or whatever you do for a living, wherever you are, don't assume that the person with them is their son. You know, sometimes this is what I do now, okay? So sometimes if it's like, let's say it's a mom and a daughter, right? Or a mom and a grandma, or whatever. It's a younger lady or kid or whatever, an older woman. I just assume in my head, I'm just like, oh, is that your mom? And then they'll be like, oh no, that's my grandchild or my grandma or whatever. Then I'm like, oh my gosh, you look so good. There's a tip right there. Or sometimes if they look kind of close-ish in age, but you don't want to say, oh, is that your mom? Just say, oh, are you guys sisters? And then they'll be like, oh no, that's my daughter. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you look so good for your age. So always underestimate somebody's age. Do not assume somebody's age or relationship or anything like that, because always underestimate, or always say the thing if you really are genuinely curious. Always say whatever would sound the nicest. You know, sometimes you just have to do stuff like that because you never know who you're gonna offend. So yes, those are my 3 embarrassing salon stories. Let me know in a comment down below, do you have any embarrassing work stories? Leave it in a comment down below. I love reading you guys' comments and your stories, especially. Like, some of them make me cringe, but I love it. Yes, if you like this video, then rate it thumbs up, share it, and subscribe to my channel. You guys will see me in my next video, so thank you so much for watching. Bye.